Okay, so Polygon is the four-sided shape um, in this particular model because I don't have any other sided shapes. Now, one thing to keep in mind with 3D Studio Max, in order for your models to work topography, the topography of your models to work out right, they need to be, your shapes need to be 3 or 4-sided. It won't work with a 5-sided shape in some of the more advanced things that we'll eventually get to. It may not work in some of the basic things. One of the problems you're seeing now when you have a spline that you extrude and then apply a turbo smooth to, the shape, if it's 5, 6, 7-sided, is tessellating. And there's a way to fix that. We just have to cover this stuff first and then we'll cover that. But it's by adding, or it's by cutting your polygons so that they are 3 or 4-sided. Ideally 4-sided, and ideally like this. And that's why I wanted to start off with the shape of the box model that looks like this, because this is going to work better than other configurations, because the program just reads equilateral polygons easier than it does anything else. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select, and then I'm going to hold down my control key, and I'm just going to select the 4 shapes at the on the edge of the box. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my select and move, and I'm going to pull those up. And you see what that created. And then I'm going to hit the you can see I'm starting to build a castle by doing that. Undo it. I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to leave that for there. There's some really other cool things I'm going to show you, but for now, just so you can see what these are. The next one is element on my list. It's the last one. And if I select it, you're going to see it selects that entire box. We're going to attach multiple primitives together. And when you do that, each primitive will be an element within the object. But right now I only have this one, so you only see this one element. Okay, so now border that we skipped, we're going to go back to border. Right now I don't have any borders. A border happens when you delete. Okay, just hit the delete key. When you delete a polygon, then I go to border, and it's the ring around that opening. And same as my other, can scale it. You don't really want to start doing things like that because you see it, you can already see the weird stuff happening. But I can scale it up a little bit, create my opening a little bit larger. I can rotate it. I can move it. Okay, so those are the basic. Let me undo that, get rid of that. Okay, so those are the basics over here. That's under my selection. I can select by vertex, edge, border, polygon, or element. Okay, so element, polygon, border we just looked at, edge, that's an edge, that's an edge, that's an edge, and vertex. And then with those selections, we can then come down here and make some edits, changes to our shape that allow us to begin to model it. All right, if I want to get out of any of those, just click back on Editable Poly, and that will get me out of, because if you stay in the sub-object, these are sub-objects, right? Because this is my object, and these are my sub-objects. If you stay on one of those, it doesn't let you out unless you unselect it. All right, so we're gonna, now, something else I want you to notice. When I'm on vertex, you see down here it says edit vertices, and then watch what happens. Edit edges, edit borders, edit polygons, edit elements. And that changes every time we make a different selection. And also what's under here will change every time we make a different selection. Okay. Okay, so what it would help to do is go in, convert your shape to an editable poly, and work with selecting these different options, and then play around with them, move them, rotate them, scale them, just to see what they do. Get comfortable with that. Go through each one of these. You can always undo it to restore it back to its state, and then go through each one of these and just get comfortable with what they are as selection sets. Remember, you can hold down Control to add to the selection set. You can hold down Alt to remove from the selection set. You can use these different tools here where you select and grow or shrink your selection set. You can ring or loop your selection set. Doesn't let you do that with this. This one you can just grow it. And then this is the whole object. But go in and get comfortable and get familiar with these different selection sets. Play around with them. Use your select and move, select and rotate, and select and scale tools to play around with them and just to start to get comfortable with what happens. Remember, you only want to work in the top view, the front view, or the back view, and then the left or the right view, also the bottom view. You don't want to work with them here because it's very misleading. In fact, let me show you right quick. See, that to me looks like I've pulled it off in this direction, but when I look at this, you can see I haven't at all pulled it off in that direction. I've pulled it off to the side, and it's created this weird thing. So that's why you don't want to work in your perspective view. I know you're going to watch some videos on YouTube where they're going to work in their perspective view, and it's going to work for them that time for some reason. But it's not. But when you're learning, it's not a good way to start. It's a bad habit to get into because ultimately it isn't going to create what you want it to create. You need to, yeah. See, it made it look like it was pulling it off over here, but it actually pulled it off over there and gave an optical illusion. So when you're working in your models, make sure you're doing it in your top, front, or right views. Say, for instance, I know I want to pull it off this direction, and then pull it off in this direction. And now it's where I wanted it when I thought I was pulling it off. And now it's accurate. Okay? So make sure you're working in your top, your side, your front, your bottom, your back views only. Okay? Don't work at this. Okay. So let's reset this. All right. Okay, and then we're going to pick up in the next video and we're going to talk about editing your vertices, your edges, your borders, your polygons, and your elements. And that'll probably be several videos. Okay, see you in the next video.